Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is an easy and inexpensive DIY farmhouse banner for Valentine's Day or anytime you want to express love. We're going to use this linen burlap ribbon from Walmart, as well as a variety of buffalo checks and ginghams in black and white. We're going to use jute cord. With this one's from the Dollar Tree. We're going to use our glue gun and glue sticks, as well as our scissor. And we're also going to need some scrap paper. Okay, so if you guys have been around for a while, you may have seen the other day we made a very similar banner with reds. We're just going to make this one a little bit different because I'm going to teach you how to make a little pocket, and this is going to be an adjustable banner on jute so that you can move the banner pieces around. This particular banner is going to be, I'm going to cut 9-inch lengths. This ribbon is 5.5 inches wide, and this is just an option of one that you can get from Walmart to make banners. You can also use a really wide open weave burlap ribbon that they have, a 5.5 inch ribbon. You get 15 feet for $3.97 as well. This one I happened to get on clearance after autumn. So that's why we're going to go ahead and use this. I had used this previously. Eden had gotten some for her wedding, and we'd used some to make a banner for Luna, and I really liked the way it held up. It held up really nicely, so we're going to go ahead and do this again. We are not going to hem this. We are going to, well, that's not right. We're going to make a pocket at the top, but we're not going to seal the edges, because unless you're planning on putting this out where it's going to be really windy, or you're going to have lots of people pulling on it, you won't have the problems of it fraying on you, okay? If it's just going to hang in your house and then you're going to pack it away and pull it out next year, it'll hold up really well, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm cutting 6. Again, this is totally 100% customizable. You don't have to use black and white fabrics or paper. You can use both, either or. You can do whatever kind of hearts you want. Plus, once you have the banner technique down, you can go ahead and customize banners for all occasions, for all holidays, and in different designs. So this particular design that we're going to do is the pennant style, which basically is a triangle. We've done other different styles in the past, and if you ever want to check out the DIYs, I have a playlist for DIYs. All the DIYs go into the DIY playlist. Then I also have other ones that are specific to holidays and occasions, just to help you organize it a little bit better. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to create a pocket at the top, like a rod pocket, like you would have on a curtain. And this way we're going to make it so that the banner is adjustable on the string, and you can spread the pennants out as much or as little as you want. All right. So once I have the all of the 6 of them cut out, I'm going to fold over about 3/4 of an inch, or an inch actually, probably like an inch or 3/4. Basically, I'm going to fold over the first one, and I'm going to use it to copy the rest. But you want to make sure that you have it a big enough pocket for you to slide. However you're going to feed your string through, you want to make sure you have it big enough for that to happen, okay? That's all I want to say. So once you have the first one done, you want to use it as a template. So basically what I do is I put the template on top of the second banner of fabric, match up the bottoms, fold over the same amount over the top. Once I have it folded, I finger press it, and then I remove the template and open it back up. And once you finger press it, you can kind of see where the fold is going to be. And that is just the super simplest way to do it. I put my dollar store chopping mat on there to protect my table from glue. It's always, these are like the greatest things ever. There's a shiny side. I glue on the shiny side, and I cut on the rough side, and use the rough side for painting as well. So you just want to repeat this with all 6. So as I was saying before, these are completely customizable. This particular linen burlap was super cheap after autumn. I got it on 50% clearance. I believe it was like $1.70 something for this whole roll. But you can use the really open weave burlap that they sell. You could use any fabric that you want It doesn't have to have a finished edge unless it's going to fray. So in the past, we've done lots of tutorials on banners that if your fabric will fray, you can just run a bead of glue as like a stitch holder. You just, on the back side, you just glue however, next to wherever you're going to cut or wherever you did cut to keep the fabric from fraying, okay? That also, when you glue like that, it also helps hold the banner flat and keeps it from curling up, which is just another option. I didn't care about that with this banner. If you care about that, then definitely think about that when you're making this one. All right. So what I've done is I've folded one in half, and I've cut once. What I did was I measured from the middle to just below, just right in the middle of where the pocket was, and I've done that to just fold it in half and cut once so that I have like an even banner size. All right. And then I'm going to repeat that with the next 5. What I'm going to do for the next 5 is I'm going to fold it in half, I'm just going to trace that one side, fold it in half and cut it, as opposed to tracing both sides and trying to get, so I won't cut, I may not cut them evenly, but what I'm just going to do instead is I'm going to lay them on top, match the top seam, draw one side, fold it in half, and then cut both sides together. I just find that to be the most effective way to get the most even banners, okay? I know it might seem like a lot of steps, but it's actually, I don't know, measure twice, cut once. It almost feels like with the folding in half. I know, my Bob Vila days. I crack myself up. So I wanted to make sure that I was writing on the back side. I didn't think I skipped that part, but I figured you guys could understand that. Just in case you leave a pencil mark, you want to make sure that it's on the back side. All right. Now we are cutting through part of that little pocket, but that's okay. It's really going to be okay. I promise. Don't worry about it. We have glued all the way to the edge there, so any glue that got over the edge or anything that didn't get quite to the edge, we go ahead and cut that off. So that's quite all right. All right. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then finally 6. And once we have all 6 done, then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to teach you a shortcut. If you did watch the video the other day, then you kind of know the shortcut already, but if you're new and only are watching this one, then I'm going to show you a easy trick for not only cutting out a heart that will fit, but also to help with heart placement, okay? So what I've done is I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper, and I'm taking the one of the banners, and I'm just drawing a quick template. We're going to make a quick, I'm going to trace this quickly. We're just going to make a quick template of the banner. All right, and when we cut it out, we're going to fold it in half, and then this is a template of the banner with the edge already folded down, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to draw half of a heart, just like we did when we were in 3rd grade. And we're doing this because we want to make sure that we like the heart placement, okay? Anybody can draw a half a heart. It's the whole heart that I always have trouble with, matching the sides. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking that graphite pencil rub thing that we learned when we were in 2nd grade. Basically, draw half a heart, fold the paper back onto itself, rub or buff the graphite onto the other side, and then we can match and make a whole heart that way. All right. Once we have the heart that we like and the placement that we like, we can go ahead and cut it out. Now be careful when you're cutting it out, because we're going to not only use the heart as a template to cut the paper and fabric, but we're also going to use the triangle with the heart missing for the banner layout. Okay, and I'll teach you that in a second. So when it comes to the materials that I'm using for this particular banner, the large buffalo check and the small black and white gingham are both fabric. This is paper. This is from a paper pad that I got from Holler. It was a autumn/Halloween paper pad I got last year after Halloween clearance. and I absolutely love it. It's got wood grain paper in it, but it also has um, this great plaid, this gingham that actually lies right between the two sizes that I've gotten. Now they do have black and white in the medium gingham if you wanted to go all fabric, but I wanted to show you guys that you can do either paper or fabric. Both will work. Okay. Of course, the paper is much easier to cut out than fabric, but paper is also much more expensive when it comes to like per yard and stuff of these fancy papers. All right, and what I've done is I've cut one heart on the diagonal. I've turned the gingham on the diagonal and I've cut the heart there. And then I've turned one heart that I'm going to cut on the horizontal, where the gingham is going to go basically straight left and right on the heart. And you'll see here when I turn it over exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? See how they go very nicely where they're opposite. They're kind of like they coordinate, but they're not exactly the same. So, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to repeat for the other two. Well, the other two are fabrics, but we're going to do it the other two sizes. So now if you don't want to do black and white check, and I mentioned this in the other video, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but if you don't want to do a black and white check, then any fabrics or papers that you pick, there's tons of them out there. You can get some at the Dollar Tree, plenty at Walmart, any of your craft stores. What we used the other day was actually part of it was wrapping paper. What we're using today is craft paper. But just to keep in mind that this would make a really sweet sentimental gift if you had, say, old baby clothes or grandma's favorite frock that she used to like to wear around the house after she's passed. You can cut the hearts out of that. So any kind of sentimentality that you might have, if you aren't crazy about keeping your wedding dress but you wanted to use pieces of it, this would be really pretty for an anniversary, to put pieces of a wedding dress in there, or a christening gown, anything that you want to keep the sentimental fabric in a pretty banner. That's all I was trying to say. Also, if you choose not to do the gingham, the buffalo check / gingham, then any fabrics or papers would work. My recommendation is that you use different scales of fabrics. You do one with a small print, one with a medium print, and then one with a larger print, just to keep the continuity, not the continuity, but to keep it, what am I trying to say? Help me what I'm trying to say. Basically to keep the aesthetic looking, so it's not very uniform. That's what I was going to say. The sample that I saw on Pinterest actually had some red and white type toile fabrics, some black and white Baroque fabrics, and they were mixed together. So I'm going to show you a sample of that as well when we get to that portion of how we mixed up the red with the black, and it looks really pretty as another option. Okay, but what we're just going to do is we're going to repeat the same thing with these two fabrics. Now, these fabrics were a little harder to see the pencil on. I tried to use the white marker from the Dollar Tree. That didn't really work out very well. So what I found is if I folded the fabric in half and just cut out half the heart's width, basically how we cut out the paper in the beginning, that was a little bit helpful. And again, I want to do one on the diagonal and one on the horizontal. All right. Now, if you're new to this channel or new to me, this small gingham was $1.50 a yard from Walmart. The big buffalo check black and white was $3.77 a yard at Walmart, which comes to about 97 cents a fat quarter. If you've ever bought fabric before in the fat quarters, you can, you know what I'm saying. So that's a relatively inexpensive piece. You don't have to buy a lot of it to get the look. If you want to keep this under $1, $1 per fabric project, you can go ahead into the store and you can order 1/4 of a yard of fabric. That will give you 9 inches straight across, not 9 inches, yeah, 9 inches. Sorry, I don't know why I was just thinking 9 inches straight across the 40 or 44-inch piece of fabric that you would use, and that would just cost you less than $1, to be honest with you. All right. And if it's the $1.50 fabric, go ahead and get yourself a yard. They're $1.50 a yard. I did end up using a lot of it this year for Christmas, and we have lots left over. What I like about this project is you can use the scraps. This is a great way to use scraps because these hearts are so little, but they do make such a good impact with just a little bit of fabric. So I wanted to show you here that you could just go ahead and glue the heart down and try to place it where you think it should be. But then I was like, genius moment, light bulb went off. We're going to go ahead and put the template back down. We'll put the glue inside the heart, and then we'll glue the heart back on top, and voila. I know. I said it in the other video. You can say it now. I'm very excited with this move. This is a very genius move on my part. Sometimes I impress myself too, guys. Just kidding. So you're just going to repeat this as well. So if you have any other glue that you would like to use that's not hot glue, if you want to use fabric glue or anything, I guess fabric glue would probably be one of the only other glues you could use. You could use tacky glue. It would just take a long time to dry and may not be permanent. But if you do that, then you repeat the same thing and just let the glue dry. But since we're using hot glue, we still have our gluing mat down as to not glue the banner to the table. All right. You see how I'm trying to go around the edge and just use a little bit on the inside. I go ahead and I drop my heart right onto the open space, rub it down, and then that's it. Voila. This really is working like really well. I almost am going to kick myself that I didn't make it out of poster board or some sort of cardstock to make it more permanent, but I kind of really like this idea. Now, as far as setting up the design of the banner is concerned, what I've done is I've just taken the small checks and I've put them across from each other, and then next to a diagonal fabric, I wanted to make sure that the two fabrics that are adjacent to it have horizontal checks going in them. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I've removed all of the every other red one. Basically, I left only the diagonal ones, and I filled in with red, the red from the other day, so I could show you how it would look like the inspiration when it was black and white and red and white fabrics that were on the same banner. All right, but what I'm going to do is I'm just opted out to just make this one black and white, but I did want to give you guys an idea of what it would look like the other way. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure, like I said, it's not only small, medium, large, small, medium, and large, but it is straight, diagonal, straight, diagonal, straight, diagonal. Okay. So I just had an inspiration to use a zip tie as a needle. There's a tiny hole in the bottom, so I fed my thread through the tiny hole in the bottom of the zip tie. I pulled out a really long string for this one because I didn't know exactly where I wanted to hang it in my house. Sometimes I hang them over the Arcadia doors, and then sometimes I hang them over the fireplace and over the archway, but I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to hang this one, so I just put it on an extra long string so that it can be adjustable. Okay. I also might opt to make more, to make that, more than 6. I haven't decided just yet. When I figure out where I want it, then I might go ahead and adjust it. But for right now, I'm just teaching you how to do it with the 6. Okay, and then you just want to, in the order that you want them to be, you want to thread from left to right, or right to left. It doesn't make a difference. I'm sorry, that really doesn't make a difference. But once you have them all threaded on there, then you want to put your little hanger loop on both sides. Okay, and then that's it. I ended up pushing them really close together on the china cabinet, and I really like the way they look against the black china cabinet in my kitchen. So I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family, anybody you know might be interested in making this or maybe the other one in red. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe. And when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.